Podcast time. That's right.
There we go.
The after show podcast.
And I need to adjust my mic. Hang on.
Yeah. And I'm supposed to deep throat it. What are you doing?
All right, that's good.
Perfect. Welcome to the podcast. This is great. Yeah. Anyway, Brock Hunter, the after show podcast, fact and opinion time. One awesome fact, one dumb opinion. Do what you want with it. We don't care. We don't care. Do you want
to do much with it, but
do you want to do the chef hat one or
got a different one? Get a different one out there. Yeah, anyone? Take your time. Let's get a good one out there.
Here we go. The only U.S. capital city without a McDonald's is Montpelier, Vermont. There's one in the next town over. Montpelier just prioritizes small businesses over chains. So Montpelier, Vermont has no McDonald's. You think that bothers the people there?
Is the only city? Is that what it says?
The only capital city. So out of all the 50, all the 50 capitals,
damn, dude.
Yeah.
Do you think that makes them angry?
Yeah, like the
probably
people
not, because they probably take pride in it at that point. If they're the only city, it's like you got to hold on to that, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna build a McDonald's. Oh hell no, you ain't.
Hell no. Look, it's interesting to me because we could sit here and ramble on about big business and chains are terrible, yada yada. Look, I love supporting small businesses, and there's a lot around here that I go to, but I also like to change it up. And there are times where it's like, you know what? I see a McDonald's, but I'm just gonna go to that. You know what I mean?
I'm not busting on McDonald's. I like McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
There's certain things there that are actually pretty decent, Yeah. And it's like a craving thing. It's like, you're kind of in between hunger, or you're kind of on your way, and you're like, McDonald's burger sounds pretty good, even though it's small, crappy, and not the highest quality, but for some reason, it tastes good to me right now.
You get beat up by Ronald McDonald for you saying that. Jesus Christ.
I know, dude. I don't want to get beat up by a clown. Scary ass clown. You notice he hasn't been around for like 20 years, dude, because people
you don't see Ronald McDonald a lot in their advertising.
Clowns, dude. Clowns are gone. Seriously, dude, it scares people. People don't like clowns. There's like a real phobia of clowns, and McDonald's knows.
Why did they pick a clown in the first place? Out of all the mascots,
kids loved clowns, dude. Bozo, do you remember me telling you I was on a 7-year waiting list?
Bozo,
yeah, fuck Bozo, dude. I had to wait 7 years to do it. No, for real though, dude. 7 years. My mom tried to get us on the Bozo show. She was like, Hunter, CJ, I'm sorry. You gotta wait for 7 years. I'm like, I'm gonna be driving.
Yeah, I'll drive myself to the Bozo show. I don't know. I don't think I ever really got into clowns. It wasn't like anything. I don't think there was anything.
I think it was because we were real young. It was real young, dude. Because the movie It came out in like 1990, so it was like 5 and below for us.
Well.
But I'm telling you, dude, nobody talks about that. I'm fucking serious. Stephen King came out with the movie It.
Yeah.
And that clown business, dude, went.
Yeah.
That's when you started seeing all the drunk clowns because they were all depressed. They started drinking.
Send in the clown. That's all they could do. They just drank.
They lost their jobs, man.
They collect their clown pension and drank. That's all they did. Yeah. Do rodeo clowns count in the clown family? Is it all the same?
But they're see that clown serves a purpose.
That's action.
Right, an action clown. It's different. It's like a circus clown.
Do mimes count as clowns? Is that in the clown family, or is that different?
I would say, yeah.
Dude, mimes creep me out more than
crazy. They're scary.
Mm-hmm.
They're creepy.
I guess. Well, I shouldn't say miming isn't, because there's some miming that's really cool, but it's when you get the white face mime with like the black eyes.
They're not talking. He's quiet. It's just hey, come on, say something.
But is that less scary than yuck? Hey kids, it's me. I'm gonna murder your family. It's like Jesus
blowing up balloons. We used to have a lady. She was a teacher, so she's the nicest lady. She was phenomenal, really older lady. And for Halloween, she would dress up as a clown, and we'd always go to her, not go to her house, but trick or treat. We'd stop by her house because she's in the neighborhood, and she would invite us into the house and blow up, she was dressed up as a clown and blow up and make you animal balloons. And then you take your animal balloon and leave. Which at the time was yeah, nice, dude. This is pretty sweet. Nice little. Make me a dog. Make me a dolphin.
I want to sword.
Now looking back at it, dude. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
That could
dude.
potentially have been very bad.
You don't go. I don't
Thank
think
God she was a beautiful lady, you know.
And minus the pandemic, right? Even before the pandemic, were kids going into houses anymore? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Jesus Christ, because we did. There was a couple houses on like the block where they'd have the candy like in the entryway, right? So you had to go into the entry, which was still, dude, that was scary as a kid because you were taught don't go into a stranger's house, don't go into their van, everything. But we'd go in if there was candy involved. We'd go in. We'd have no problem with it. Yeah,
dude. So this is what's crazy about the '80s. All right, growing up and just weird, like going up, you know, into houses and stuff like that. It used to be a thing. Dude, the top 5 notorious serial killers, which is like Ed Gein, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and there's another one in there, dude.
Yeah,
I just watched this documentary on it. All in the '80s, all in like a 6-year span, dude. It was like the time of they called it the golden age of murder. I'm like, that's a bad way to put it.
Yeah. Good '80s, man. Love the '80s. Good serial killers.
You know, but it's kind of weird, dude. Like that era and that time, like walking into people's houses was fine. Like you ride your bike around. I don't know. It's just a weird time.
I don't think I trick or treated I was born in '86, and I don't think I was trick or treating yet by then. So probably like the '90s is when I was
early '90s.
Yeah, the early '90s. Would get a bunch of texts from Kiki. That's when we did it. But even the concept too, like the whole thing, mom would drop us off at the corner. She'd say, all right, be back here in an hour. Like that was it. And then we just walked around without supervision as children in costumes. Okay. Like in costumes, going to people's houses who we didn't, I mean, you maybe knew a few houses on the block. If you, oh yeah, Timmy lives there and Jesse lives over there. But for the most part, we were just walking around, no adults, and just here's
the thing though, and think about this, because we're on the adult side of it now because we're more adultish than we were then. We were fine, weren't we? We were fun. Yeah. I mean, you're here, I'm here. I'm sure there were, you know, maybe a few murders here and there, but you know, all in all,
yeah,
like we were fine. We took care of ourselves. We went in groups. We weren't dumb. You know, we did dumb things, maybe like TP'd people and you know, snuck a beer once in a while or something, but. Dude, you know, I almost think it's too overprotective now too.
Yeah,
you don't need your dad to hold your hand door to door.
No,
you know,
probably not. Of course, now having a kid though, and knowing how many sick fuckers there are out there, you know, it's maybe.
But didn't your parents know that? Your parents knew that.
Yeah, but maybe, and you know what? Almost
it was worse back then.
I hate to say it. Well, was it, or we just didn't know about it? I mean, it's probably all the same. It's just now with the 24/7 news cycles, we hear about all this horrible shit more. You know what I mean?
I want to say it was worse. I think people murdered people more back in the day.
I don't think so. I think more people are getting murdered nowadays.
I think people are too pussy nowadays to murder.
I think people.
What are we talking about?
I think people back in the day were more courteous. You know, you knew like there was only one murderer per.
I think they're more psychos though. You know, you know, like he's and also courteous.
Also, back in the day, see nowadays maybe the murderers have been staved off because of having all the technology that we have. Like they can get their murder fix by watching videos on YouTube or the dark web or something.
Well, here's another thing why I think there was more back in the day. You can get away with it back in the day. Yeah, a lot easier. I mean, dude, some of these murder sprees out in that documentary.
We still caught them all though. So I mean, it's not like, I mean, I know we got the technology nowadays out there, but in the 40s, that was the prime time for murder. You know, from like up until they got DNA evidence and they figured that out, dude.
When was Jack the Ripper? That era. That was
Jack the Ripper. Here's a guy. They never found him. He probably lived a happy life. He's just up there cutting people's throats. I mean, just murdered, stabby. Who's the most? How do we get it on this? What were we talking about?
No idea. This is how the podcast goes.
We started with McDonald's. We started with McDonald's in Montpelier, Vermont, and now I am looking up most or serial killer with most kills. Here we go.
Dude, this is it's one of the guys that I watched the other night. It
was, right here, Dr. Harold Shipman.
Dude,
he's the most prolific modern serial killer with 208 probable murders and possibly as many as 250. But here's the thing,
guy. Is that the Netflix documentary guy?
He's the doctor. He's the doctor.
There's a Netflix documentary just recent. What happened?
I think the EAS test is going off.
You looked around like something. You're just about to get bombed.
Here we go. Oh God, they're coming. The Russians. So okay, so you got that's a document here. Now, list of serial killers by numbers of victims. This guy from 1992 to 1999, Louis Garavito. Proven victims 138, possible victims 300 plus. Jesus, dude, look at these fuckers.
What year was that?
That was 92 to 99.
I'm telling you, dude, it was bad back. It was through the 80s and 90s. There was you could just get away with it more. That's why there was 130. So, yeah. How do you do it, dude? That's crazy. Come on.
I think too. Well, we were more. Well, I think maybe why it was easier too is because we were more trusting back then. You could ride your bikes around the neighborhood by yourself. You could
more opportunity, maybe
you would pull over and help out a stranger. You know what I mean?
That's a weird word to use. Yeah.
By the way, if there's anyone like screening this, Hunter and I aren't going on a murdering spree. Like,
we're just trying to figure out.
We're intrigued by it, you know? Yeah. We're not sharpening our knives.
That's why the ID channel's the thing, because people are intrigued about it. Yeah.
That's also part of the problem. You know, like we glorify this stuff by putting
weird shit on those channels. You know? You're right though. The glorification of it. I think about that sometimes. There's a lot of even the names of the show.
Yeah.
Are like blah blah blah. You're like murder's not good. Why are you making it sound like it's entertainment? It's
and they almost romanticize it at times. They romanticize these people.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy compared to everyone. He was handsome and charming. It's he's fucking murder. What do you? I know they get you eventually, but why? Here's the episode. Here's a guy. He killed some people. He's a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't need the backstory on it and everything. So
some of them,
even on the farm, sucks you in. You're like, I want to find out more about this. The Farmer 5. Now it's been extended with all the digital HD channels. There's one channel that's literally just all crime, and this is on basic television. And it's all crime 24/7.
You get those days where you're just like, I don't feel like doing that. I'm just gonna throw this on in the background. It's interesting, you go through all these episodes, but there's a point where you're like 4 hours in, you're like, dude, I should probably watch something else besides just murder.
Put on Barney, for God's sakes. I'm feeling really stressed right now.
And then I'm thinking about other people out there. Like, dude, there's probably people out there have watched this for like a month straight. Just oh
my God. There's murderers everywhere.
Curtain shut.
Yeah. That's a lot of old people and then they freak out about everything. So anyway, if I could murder one person, it'd be you, Hunter.
You got fat chance, buddy boy. I'm too quick for you. Too quick. All right. See that knife? It would just be going side to side. You can't get me.
Steven Seagal me.
Yeah. Murder. The perfect murder. There is no such thing as a perfect murder anymore.
There is. You stab someone with an icicle. That's how you do it. Then
that's like
the weapon one. I think they did that at Mythbusters. I
still think they could still get. They can still probably.
I'm gonna stab you in the eye with an icicle.
Your hairy ass would leave so much hair behind.
So much hair behind, dude. We've never had so many
full hairball right here. There's so much evidence. So much incriminating evidence in this hairball that he left.
We've never had so many perfect samples of hair in a crime scene than when Brock tried to murder.
Shortest jury decision ever. My God, they were back in an hour. He's guilty.
Irrefutable hair evidence. All right. Let's end on that note. We started with McDonald's in Montpelier and we ended with hairball murder solving. So all right. That's gonna do it for Brock and Hunter here in the After Show podcast. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Another fact and opinion, unless I get arrested for murder. I don't know. All right. Later.